Guys, it is Matt. It is Wednesday. No, it's Tuesday, March 26th, 2024. Oddly enough, this was my second take because I couldn't remember what day it was. And so then I stopped recording and thought, "Oh, I got to figure out what day it is." And then I was like, oh, it's Wednesday. And here we are on Tuesday. So, man, down day in the market, kind of chopped around, and then had a tank near the end here. You can see this on the 5 minute chart. I mean, it was just chop, 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 and then so interesting, interesting day. Uh, if you think bleeding to death is interesting, uh, yeah, everything had a not great day, except maybe the dollar. Dollar kind of bounced. But yeah. Anyway, let's look at what I had. I did take a couple losses today, very small ones, but this is what I had on my watch list. So, Interactive Brokers, which gapped up, and I just didn't like the play after the gap up. This risk reward wasn't great there. I didn't really have a good place to set a stop. Um, AFRM looked like it was going to break out and then came back in with the end of the day. Actually, it was doing well until the rest of the market kind of had that whole end of day tank. XLV, I took a shot at this later in the morning than I normally take one because it didn't trigger my alert until later. So basically, kind of let's see. I think it was somewhere in here, and my stop was pretty tight. I think I probably got in like right right at the top here, honestly, and then yeah, I think so because then my stop was one of the moving averages. It was I think my stop was the 20-day moving average. So anyway, loss on XLV. V didn't take that. DOCN never hit my trigger. For those of you that don't know Think or Swim, this is the trigger alert here. It's basically when the price hits that, it's going to alert me that it happened. Um, yeah, took this guy, which made a nice run at it early here, right? And then again, getting in near the top because things just kind of turned right around on me right after I entered. So kept my stop tight though. Didn't go. I originally was down here at the low of previous day, but I tightened that up as it went along. So just take a look at that. I mean, it had this nice run here. You can call this chasing if you want, right? Because it's way above yesterday's high, but it was just this was almost instantaneous. Like from here open, hit the 50. I mean, whatever. That's the 50 period moving average on a 5 minute chart. Doesn't really matter, but you see what I'm looking at. And then I mean, it was like here by the time I even got to look at it. I mean, we're talking about like seconds after the market. And so I was like, all right, well, this looks like it's got some momentum coming out of the gates. And then it just turned right around. So I think by the time, I had moved my stop up from low of previous day to like low of today, and then moved it up to like the low of this pivot. And that's where I got stopped out right here. So uh, similar story on a lot of these. They pop and drop. PSTG never hit the alert that I had set for it, which I think I maybe said that one later in the day. AMD didn't quite get back in action here. Kind of waiting for that one patiently. BK might still be on the list there. We'll see. We'll see what happens with this. If it holds that little gap, right? If it holds this tiny little gap here, even though really, if you look back here, it's almost not a gap from this high, right? But the gap from here, if it holds this area anyway, this 5640, and then we get a nice little burst, I would think about that. Net, net is one that I didn't enter. That would have been the one of the day. Again, kind of sorry, looking at the wrong chart again. Kind of a gap up situation. Um, I mean, not a huge gap. Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't know what made me not like this morning. I mean, looking at it now, it looks pretty juicy, right? It's like the only thing that held up a decent amount of its gains. Let's look at the 5 minute chart. Well, that'll do it. Yeah. So it kind of got stuffed after this first 5 minute candle and didn't look like it was doing much. So, and didn't do much until later. So yeah, I can see not taking that, I guess. Remember, there's a couple things popping off at the open, and a lot of them, DOCU, even OKTA, they looked good and strong, and didn't turn around until 10 or 15 minutes into the market, and then net had kind of chopped around. It kind of did the opposite, right? It sort of got wicked out on that first candle, and then ended up being the strongest one of the day. Um, So NetApp is another one that I took today that you can see the initial stop was below yet previous day's low, and I tightened stops up on this one too. So I didn't take any full losses today. Uh, let's see, we got TSM that never triggered. So semis didn't really, I don't think, did much today. Yeah, no, it's kind of a, can look at the ETF there. Kind of had just a red day, pulling back to this little level they're trying to hold there. So, anywho, I think that's it. I'm not going to go through my master watch list today. I might not even trade tomorrow. We'll see. I always say that, and then I show up anyway. But I might try to take some time off here. I had some family stuff happen today that uh, not a big deal, but you know, stuff weighs on your mind, whether even sometimes if you don't feel it right away. So, anywho, I'll talk to you guys maybe tomorrow or maybe later in the week. We'll see. All right.